Once you're satisfied with your basic OPNsense setup, the next step would be to connect the rest of your devices. Let's talk about how to expand and improve your home network. First, you're going to want to unplug your test PC from the OPNsense LAN port and replace it with either a network switch or a wireless access point. A network switch is a piece of hardware that allows you to physically connect multiple devices together using Ethernet cables. Wired network connections are generally faster, more reliable, and more secure than Wi-Fi. Cables might be annoying, but they are vastly superior. Now, there are a lot of different switches available, so choosing one can be confusing. Here is what you need to consider. Speed. You need to pick a switch that supports the network speeds you require. A 100 megabit switch cannot achieve gigabit speeds. So, at a minimum, you want to match your switch's speed to your internet connection. Just remember that a network can only run as fast as its slowest component. However, you don't need a 10 gigabit switch if your OPNsense machine only has 1 gigabit network cards. Port count. The number of ports you'll need will be based on the number of devices you plan to connect. You'll also need one port to plug into the OPNsense LAN. So if you have 5 devices, you'll need at least a 6-port switch. You can't really have too many ports, so the limiting factor is going to be cost. I recommend getting at least an 8-port switch, even if you only have 1 or 2 wired devices. An 8-port model isn't significantly more expensive than a 4 or 6-port model. Plus, it gives you extra room for growth. You may want to add additional devices in the future, so plan accordingly. Power over Ethernet. You will also need to consider if your switch needs to support Power over Ethernet, or PoE. PoE switches can power small network devices by sending electricity over the network cable. This eliminates the need for a separate power cord. PoE is commonly used for devices like security cameras and wireless access points. Of course, if you only have 1 or maybe 2 PoE devices, and you really don't want to purchase a PoE switch, you can use a PoE injector instead. Managed versus unmanaged. Unmanaged switches are plug and play, easier to set up, and generally cheaper. Managed switches support more advanced features like VLANs, traffic monitoring, and quality of service. If you need any advanced features, you must purchase a managed switch. There are also smart switches. These are a hybrid option, offering more features than unmanaged switches, but fewer than managed ones. Depending on exactly what you want to do, this may be the best option. Now, let's say you're just starting out and you have no idea what to get. In that case, I would recommend buying a 8-port unmanaged switch. Don't purchase a PoE switch unless you have some PoE devices. Just ensure that it supports your desired network speeds. These are very affordable, so it's not going to be a big deal if you need to replace it later. A WAP, or wireless access point, is the best way to add Wi-Fi support to your network. Now, if you're not going to plug any devices in, you could theoretically replace the network switch entirely with a WAP. However, for maximum flexibility, I suggest purchasing both a switch and a WAP. You just need to plug your WAP into the network switch. And this gives you the option of using both wired and wireless connections. It also allows you to easily add multiple access points later for better coverage. Now, there's a wide range of WAPs available, so here is what you need to consider. Speeds and standards. You want to choose an access point that supports the Wi-Fi speeds and standards that are supported by your devices. Your Wi-Fi 6 card won't run at full speed if it's connected to a wireless access point that only supports Wi-Fi 4. Consumer versus enterprise grade. Most of the WAPs you'll find on Amazon and Newegg are consumer grade. These are cheaper but less reliable. You might consider purchasing an enterprise-grade access point instead. Enterprise-grade access points cost more, but the quality, reliability, and management features are often worth it. Power over Ethernet. Some WAPs don't have a separate power cable, so if you purchase a PoE WAP, make sure that you have a switch that supports PoE, otherwise you'll need to purchase a separate PoE injector. Wireless access point versus wireless router. Most devices you can purchase to create a Wi-Fi network are not actually WAPs, they're wireless routers. A wireless router has a WAP built into it, but it also has a router and sometimes a few physical Ethernet ports. Since you have OPNsense to act as your primary router, you do not need a wireless router. Wireless routers can sometimes cause problems or be less reliable because they're trying to perform too many functions. If you do end up using a wireless router, try to disable the routing functions by enabling either bridge mode or AP mode. This should tell it to act exactly the same as a wireless access point. Once you've replaced your test PC with a network switch and/or a wireless access point, you can start adding the rest of your devices. Finally, I strongly suggest purchasing a UPS unit, or uninterruptible power supply. These are battery backup systems that allow your OPNsense machine and other network equipment to continue running even in the event of a power outage. Remember, whenever your OPNsense machine goes down, your internet connection is going to go down with it. So it would be a good idea to plug your OPNsense machine, ISP gateway, switch, and wireless access point into a UPS. That way you can survive short power outages. UPS units can also help prevent damage to your devices. If OPNsense is writing something to disk, or if it's in the middle of an upgrade and it loses power, the internal storage could become corrupted. So a UPS, even a small one, is a worthwhile investment. Now they come in different sizes and capacities. Larger batteries last longer, but cost a lot more. Most home users won't need anything too big. Even if it can only keep things running for 10 minutes, that can still be a huge help. It'll keep things running during a short-term outage, and for longer outages, it will still give you enough time to safely shut everything down.